Today we're going to try out the buckwheat with beef 250 gram container, a vitamin pill, hand wipes, probably about half of the sugar, some coffee, some fruit jam. People online have been saying that this is apple butter, so we'll say it's that. Some flour crackers. These look pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Difference is, we're not gonna heat anything up except for maybe the water for the coffee, which I already have on hand here. Let's get that coffee going. Right there. That opened a little easier than it should have probably. Very faint smell, but it smells like coffee. Put some sugar in there and then give it a stir. We'll reserve the rest of that. Give that a stir. Let's go ahead and down that pill. It's not overly bitter like some American multivitamin. Let's open up that buckwheat tray. That has a very hearty smell. If you look closely, you can see some congealed fat up here on the top. There you go, got a little bit on the spoon for you. Anyhow, let's give this a taste. You get a little chunk here from the corner. See those extra thick pieces of buckwheat. That is really good. Lightly flavored, not very salty. Honestly, that is tremendously good. I always see people warming up rations and having rations at the peak of comfort. I'm going to do my best to just have a lot of these rations straight out of the bag. No warming up. How viable is this stuff while you don't have the time to heat it up? And you know what? So far, this buckwheat and beef, it tastes pretty dang amazing not warmed up. And I like the big pieces of buckwheat. I believe I might have said barley earlier. But this buckwheat is so good. It's so hearty and adds to a different texture. Which, to be honest, that is the only texture, is the buckwheat. The beef is just finely minced throughout the dish, but it's really good. It still comes through and you still have the flavor. Just enough to coat that buckwheat. So let's get the crackers open up and try some of that, how some people say apple butter. We'll see what it really is. And see if it's good. We've seen a lot of people online strike out on those, so we'll see how my luck is. We'll try one of these on its own, one of the broken ones. These are great. Not as dry or thirst provoking as the wheat ones. They taste like unsalted saltines that you would use for your soups. The difference is a little thicker, of course, but also a tad bit sweeter. Like some of the other accessories in the pack, it's got a little bit of a camo shading or coloring going on here. Very interesting. Just open it up and look at a little tear notch here. Let's put a little bit of this on the spoon. Give it a little check-see. A little look-see. Looks alright. Smells alright. A little bit between a jam and a marmalade. Looks alright. Smells alright. I've never had apple butter, so I'll have to get some later to compare, but this looks good. Now let's give it a taste. Again, I've never had it, so I don't know how much to put on these crackers. But they weren't that dry. It spreads very well. Wow. Holy moly. That apple flavor. I can't understand why some people say they get a sour profile going on there. But I think it's just the tartness of the apple. It's not sour at all. It's just tart. Like young pear or a Asian peach. Sometimes you get a little bit of tartness. Spread that just a little bit. Wow, this is something else. If apple butter tastes like this, I think I'm gonna definitely get my hands on some. Although from what I've seen, apple butter doesn't look like this. This is clear viscosity. So this would be more like not like a butter or a marmalade, but definitely a jam or a jelly. Even if you only had the jam and the crackers in the morning, that would be more than enough to wake you up and get you started for your day. Let's give that nice black coffee a try. So when it hits your nose, you get more of a earthy tones, like I know what that is. Okay, so I doubt the coffee went bad or anything. I didn't see any dry mold and it wasn't clumped together. The bag was crinkly, but it didn't seem like any moisture got in. The profile I'm tasting compared to what I'm smelling is completely different. You smell it, it smells earthy, kind of rich. But when you drink it, there it is. It tastes like a firework that's already gone off. I'm not playing with you. I'm not. I'm serious here. The smell you get, that acrid smell of the smoke coming off of a firework that has just finished burning off the gunpowder. That's what this tastes like. This tastes like gunpowder smoke. That's pretty intense. So I'm gonna finish the rest of this off camera, but let's try this white foil inside covering. There's a little bit of moisture on the inside, not very much. It doesn't feel like a lot of moisture, but when you pull it out and you go to use it to wipe, I think it's pretty good for a one-time use. And then, wow, that's actually pretty sturdy. Good one-time use, and then bathroom tissue. I was just about to finish this off, but it made me realize the jam covered every single cracker pretty much. When you warm up the buckwheat on the S-bit stove, there's not a lot of moisture outside of what's inside the buckwheat and the meat. So that makes me wonder if when you go to heat it up, if it would break down easily or not. And I never noticed that in any of the other reviews on YouTube. I'll have to go look, because I mean it's dense, it's packed, but also you can cut into it and then it kind of mostly stays together. So I'm wondering if there's enough moisture in here, or if it's supposed to stay all compact like that even when you warm it up. Or does it fall apart and become like what it is here on the bottom, like little granules of buckwheat? I don't know. We have about 230 milliliters of water here. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. Pretty sure I mentioned it already, but even before opening the pack, it all smelled of sweetness. Probably the sweetest smelling military ration I've ever had. Okay, so it's clear. There's no color to this, but it smells amazing. Let's give this a try. There you go, just your basic, flat, kind of dry, crunchy. That was a nice sound. Yeah, this isn't bad at all. A bit dry, of course, but that's really hearty. You can eat these on their own as a snack, and you'll be fine. There's just a hint of sweetness to it. But that wheat is very pervasive. Got that pate out. Ah, there we go. Keep that there. Try a little bit on its own. That tastes almost the same as some of those Armor brand that they sell in the market. And this knife works very well. It's a bit flimsy, but if you use it correctly, it's a good knife. Yeah, that's a winner in my book. That's good. It's kind of weird, I guess. I always let my instant drinks sit a little bit. In my head, I'm always thinking like, oh, maybe it'll hydrate a little bit on its own. Sorry for that voice. Using my fantastic chopstick. If you can guess where it's from, don't tell anyone, please. Keep it to yourself. That looks like a good cracker to me. I noticed a weird bit here though. Some of the paste will get stuck on the inside of the knife. Also, when you cut into it, you can't really see it because I've got terrible lighting right now. Well, in general in my life. But here, it's a bit gray. And when you cut into it, it turns a very fleshy pink color. There. Once it oxidizes really quickly though. Something I'd point out. Because I don't know why you'd want to know about oxidizing potted meat from Russia. This is a great snack, but it is very thirst provoking. Well, that's pretty clear. No, I can see some sugar granules still. But hey, if the flavor comes out pretty good, then the next one I try, I'll definitely go up to 240. If it's still really strong, maybe I'll go all the way up to 280. Looks pretty good. If the flavor's really strong, I'll go to 240. But if it's very sweet, I'll definitely go to 280 even. Before I even took a drink, the sweetness of it hits me in the face. It just wafts straight at you. You can definitely add another 20, even 40 milliliters to that. There's a lot of stuff I try off of the shelf. Not a lot comes close to this. This is really good. Alright. Gotta stop saying alright. You could pair that snack we just showed with breakfast, but I metered it out because that's a lot of calories. So here we're going to have good meat with green peas and carrots. Sounds pretty good. We'll see what it looks like. Then we have that infamous salted fat. At first I didn't think I had this because it just looked like another paste thing. But no, that's what it is. Then we have some raspberry instant drink mix, some tea, some creamer, which I forgot for the coffee. So we're going to actually add that to the tea. Speaking of the coffee from earlier, save that sugar. We're going to go ahead and add that with the tea as well. We have some cheese, some liver pat. Then following up like the snack we had earlier, we're going to try some more wheat ration crackers, which funnily enough, these, you could tell they're much heartier than the other ones, mostly because none of them are broken. Then we're going to try out some of that gum, another hand wipe, a little napkin. This time, brought out that knife. And I've got some hot water here for the tea. So let's go ahead and get that tea steeping. Little notch right there. That's pretty interesting. Oh, that is a nice smelling black tea. Get that steeping. Since it's still warm and hot right now, I'm going to add the sugar, so I'll have to stir that later. We'll taste it without the creamer, and then we'll put the creamer in. Hold on. This is the salt. This is the creamer. I'm not going to reshoot that front end. I'm just going to... Hey, I almost made a mistake there. That'll happen when you don't know what you're reading. Let's see. It's not clumped up. Still kind of powdery. So, right. We're going to wait till that tea bag's steeped a bit, and then we're going to add this after we taste it for the first time. Oh, man. Almost made a huge mistake. That would have left me salty. But we're going to try the entree first. And like I said about the other ones, we're not going to be warming this up. That has a good, strong beef smell. Yeah, that smells like a nice, like beef stew, you know? I'm pretty sure that's because all the peas and carrots in it. Oh! Well, there goes my knife. All I was doing was cutting in a straight down motion. But that broke. It broke the knife. I might have to get a replacement. We're going to cut around. See? Ah, there's a nice big piece of meat right there. The other one was just shreds, like you'd get in a taco or something. But this one actually has bigger chunks in it. Let's get that raspberry drink. You can actually smell that through the package. This is the raspberry and the peach instant drink mixes. These are full of sugar. But this is what was making the whole MRE smell like really sweet. Oh, that. Judging by the smell alone, that's going to be really sweet and really good. So I have about 265 milliliters here. Hopefully the spoon doesn't break. There we go. Nice, good heaping spoonful. Not too big, because I don't want you to hear me eating this whole thing. That is a lot sweeter than I thought it would be. That's really good. Look at that. That almost looks like the coffee we had earlier. That smells amazing. And you know what? In Texas, we use black tea to make sweet tea. So I've had a lot of black tea in my life. So I'll find out how good that tastes comparatively. We're gonna go ahead and open up the pork fat because that tea is still a bit hot. Now, I've heard a lot of horror stories. People don't like this pork fat. They really stay away from it. I don't know why. I mean, that just screams deliciousness. Oh, since my knife is gone, I can't really use that. And it says salted pork fat, so that means it's ingestible the way it is. You don't have to cook it. We're gonna have that. It's gonna be greasy as heck. I know it, and I don't care. I'm doing this for you guys, you know. That just disintegrates in your mouth. That is amazing. Let's try a little bit of that with the peas and carrots. Whoa, that's insane. So the flavor of this fatback, or salted fat, I don't know where it's from really. It kills all the sweetness from the peas and carrots over here. Remember, eating this cold, none of this is warmed up except for the tea. That's good. I don't know why people dog on that so much. That is tasty. That is hearty. Not so much something you can eat while walking around, but you don't have to warm it up. All of this is edible straight from the can. A lot of people also have problems when their cans come in. They're either crushed or busted open. This one's the only one that has a little bit of a air gap. I've had pate liver before, and I've had it go bad. So, oh, there's a little hiss. Nice. Look at that bright human pink color. Oh, that smells pretty good. Just take a piece off the top here. You know, compared to the other one, this one is much, much more mellow. And then it creeps up on you right at the end. That nice Braunschweiger liver intensity. When you're eating game meat and you're done chewing, the intensity of the gaminess hits you. Let's try out this tea. Tea without creamer. Alright. That's smooth. There's no acidity. There's no harshness, and there's no earthiness to it. It's just a nice, smooth black tea. That would make a really great sweet tea, to be honest. So we're dumping that in. This is the cheese. I had a friend tell me that he had a cheese come in and it was just all busted up, and the lid wasn't on all the way. It was just a block of dehydrated cheese. It's a real shame too. Oh, look at that. That smells like Cheese Whiz from a can. And I bet you anything, it's probably going to taste like it too. Get these biscuits open. I was really hoping to use the knife on the cheese, but looks like that's not going to happen. It's probably quite a bit. Processed cheese is pretty intense sometimes. Or take a half bite of this so I don't have too much of a mouthful. That's pretty good. Not very salty, which is always a plus when the cheese is either processed or cheap. I'm going to eat this all. This is actually pretty good. A bit more creamer, and that almost tastes like a boba tea. And that would be extra pleasant when you're out in the field, for sure. As far as processed cheese goes, yeah, top 5. Definitely top 5. It's a really great color. Oh man, that is so good. It's sweet, don't get me wrong, but the artificial flavor is very light. So it's not overwhelming, and it's very enjoyable to the point that you just want to down the whole thing. Which I'm pretty sure is the point of most of these foods. Now, apart from the heartiness of this and the slightly saltiness of this, because of course it's salted fat, you can eat all of this pretty quickly, but it'd be enjoyable. Not only is this stuff good, it's stuff a lot of the soldiers already are familiar with, and that's the whole point with most rations. So when some Americans get this and they see this pork fat or the pate, there's a lot of people who've never had Braunschweiger or liver pate here in the States. There's a lot of people who have never had processed cheese. Go ahead and pop open one of these gums. You know, I don't know if they're caffeine or not. Maybe that's something I should have looked into a little bit more. On the back it just tells you best conditions to keep it in. Really cool. They look kind of like Mentos. They are dense. Not hard, but just like when you're digging and you go from soil to clay, it's got kind of a clay consistency. Cool. That's a year old. There's nothing wrong with that. Right, so I'm going to finish this up, just like breakfast and the snack earlier. This is really good. And you know what? I'm thinking 2/3 of this 24-hour pack was so good, I might end up getting another one. Well, we'll see. Laid out before you is beef goulash, a 250-gram tin. We have some army crackers, flour. I love these a little bit more than the other buckwheat, so definitely going to have those for this awesome supper. We have a chocolate bar. We'll see how much it bloomed. Salt and pepper, which we haven't needed for any of the other meals. We have water purification tablets. We don't need them, so they will be put off to the side, along with the Espit stove, which you saw in the beginning picture, and I probably explained a little bit about it, but we don't need to use them. We're not going to be heating any of this up. And we have some black tea, sugar. We're not going to be using all of the sugar. Handy wipe, napkin, of course, spoon, probably just an apple puree. And then over here we have a veg ragu. Try that vegetable one. I'm really interested to see what's in there. We're gonna have that chocolate last, because that's, to me, that's gonna be special. Alright, we're gonna open this up. Let's see what this looks like. You do have some dent in here, but there's not a lot of pressure, so it doesn't, I don't feel like it's gonna be bad. But you never know. Ah, I was right. Not that I was fighting anyone about this. It's applesauce. I mean, it looks like it. No smell. It's settled a bit. This probably would have been pretty good for breakfast. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast at this point. That's splendid. It's light with a touch of acidity. Very nice. Very good. It would have been perfect for breakfast. It's not very sweet, and it's not very heavy either. It goes down very well. You could probably just drink it right out of the tin, because it's pretty sloshy. Let's try this. I don't know. We'll see. We gotta look into it first. Oh, that's not what I was expecting at all on that one. This smells like a beef minestrone. There's tomato in it. I can smell onions. You can see some greens on there. It's probably parsley or maybe even bay leaf. But that is just all mushed up. Oh, so it's kind of like don't know how to explain this at all, but you can see some grease pulling around the edges. Let's take a taste. Wow, that's really good. And this is just like a side. This isn't even a main. There's no meat in this at all. This is all vegetables. Just a melody of vegetables. I gotta put that down before I eat it all. That's really good. Bust open that main now. It's calling my name. Goulash beef, 250 grams. Look at that. It's a chunky boy. That looks like it's all meat. It really does. Gelatin here. Not fat. Earlier, in one of the earlier ones I said fat, which it's just cloudy gelatin. Alright, let's take a spoonful of this meat, or goulash. Oh man, that is amazing. I don't know how to describe this. It's like a stewed beef. If you haven't had goulash, if you had goulash, I'm probably gonna describe something you've not had before. This would be amazing over some rice, potatoes, pretty much anything. By itself, it's spectacular. A little bit of bay leaf. Now I'll get stuck in your teeth. So we got a little bit of this vegetable ragu and a cracker. This is what I've been wanting to try. It's pretty good. Definitely. That's one way to go. Now let's put a piece of this beef. And this one, wow, look at that. That's just a whole piece of beef. And this one's so thick also. If you were to heat it up with that Espit stove, I don't know how you'd... I guess you'd have to flip it or something. There's not a lot of liquid. There really isn't. Let's give this a shot. Out of the 3 meals and light snack that I made out of this beef goulash is absolutely the best. Paired with anything from the ration, it would still be the best meal. On its own, it would be the best meal. And you know what? I didn't need the salt and the pepper throughout any of these. The vegetables with the buckwheat that I had for breakfast probably would have been the best mixture, especially if it was warm. That would have been really good. The beef, again, this is all this is. It's a tray of cooked beef. Ugh, I can't get enough of that. I'm definitely gonna devour all this. But let's check out this chocolate bar. Let's open it up. Let's see how bad that blooming is. I know we're not supposed to eat the dessert until after dinner, but I'm gonna just take a little piece of this to finish dinner and then eat the rest. This is a monster. Look at that thing. I love it. There's no blooming on the top side. A lot of this is a scuffing from the packaging. You see here, this was from the back line on the inside of this. And then the top side is, well, of course, it's the only one touching. Let's try to break off just like it's too big still. This is kind of like the bittersweet baker's chocolate. There's some sugar added, of course, but not too much. You're allowed to taste the dark chocolate in all its glory, and then at the end, the aftertaste is a light, earthy tone. You could probably go all the way to 320 milliliters for the peach one. For the raspberry one, you might want to stay around at 260. Peach is just a much stronger. This is fantastic. I'm definitely going to get another one in the future. If I get a different menu, I'll go ahead and do the same thing. I'll upload it and show off the different parts of the ration, because I understand tea isn't the same, the drink is the same, hand wipe is the same, crackers technically are the same with other things, but changes the flavors of some stuff. This is very strong. You only need a little bit, and it tastes very good. With the buckwheat with beef, it would be a good mixture in general. On the crackers, it mellows out a little bit, and you just get all those nice tomatoey vegetable flavor zings going back and forth in your mouth. The beef, well, that's just amazing on its own. I'm going to finish this off, and hey. Thanks for watching.